All right, let's get into it. Today, we're basically tearing up the old rulebook for how to be a content creator. We're diving deep into what I'm calling the new creator playbook, a whole new strategy that's all about AI, automation, and really a totally different way to think about your future online.
So let me just start with a pretty wild question. What if you could build an entire media empire? Not from some fancy studio, but literally from your bedroom. I know, it sounds a little like science fiction, right? But the tools and the strategies we're about to unpack, they're making this a real thing for creators as we speak.
So first things first, why the big change? Why now? Well, it's because the old way of doing things, the creator grind, it's just broken. The rules that we thought would lead to success, yeah, those don't really apply anymore.
You know, the folks over at Fourth Wall put it perfectly. They said, ads alone won't save you. And it's so true. The algorithms, they're totally unpredictable. And let's be honest, they do not care if you have to pay your rent. Relying only on platforms for your income is kind of like building your dream house on land you don't actually own.
And if you want to see the proof, just look at the hard data. This is nuts. The YouTube channel Helix pulled in a massive 3.7 million views in a single month. Awesome, right? Well, their estimated ad revenue from all that was less than $3,000. That is a serious reality check on what a view is actually worth. But then you see something like this. A writer on Medium stumbled upon a 10-hour video of just rain sounds making $4,000 a month. That's more than the channel that busted its butt for millions of views. It just goes to show you the whole logic of the creator economy is getting flipped on its head. Sometimes the super low effort, super niche stuff comes out way ahead. So yeah, the old game feels a little rigged, doesn't it? That's why it's time for a completely new playbook. And this one is built on two incredibly powerful ideas: ownership and automation. So how do we actually build this new thing? Well, that brings us to the first piece of the puzzle, your new monetization engine. This is where we stop thinking about just running a channel, and we start thinking about building a real, honest-to-goodness business. And this right here, requires a huge shift in how you think. You've got to stop just renting your audience's attention from the social media giants. The real goal, the end game, is to own that relationship yourself, to build a community that won't disappear overnight just because some algorithm had a bad day. So how do you pull that off? Well, Fourth Wall breaks it down into three main pillars. First up, community memberships. This is your foundation for predictable, recurring cash flow. Think of things like a Patreon or maybe a private Discord server. Second, digital products. Now, these are amazing because you make them once and you can sell them forever. We're talking online courses, ebooks, you name it. And third, advanced merchandise. And I mean stuff your community actually wants that goes way beyond just slapping a logo on a t-shirt. You know, the best part about this whole model is that it puts you back in the driver's seat. You're building these stable, predictable revenue streams that you actually own and control. It's about freeing yourself from those wild up and down swings of ad money and brand deals. Okay, so you've got your monetization engine all set up. But now, how do you fuel it? How do you keep the content flowing? Welcome to part 2 of the playbook, the AI Content Factory. This is how you can churn out content at a scale that was pretty much impossible for a single person until, like, yesterday. Now, I know this might look a little intimidating, but it's becoming shockingly easy. You can use something like ChatGPT for ideas, have another AI write the script, get a crazy realistic voice from a tool like 11 Labs, and then generate stunning visuals with something like Leonardo AI. Then a simple editor like CapCut can stitch it all together. A process that used to take weeks of grinding can now, seriously, be done in minutes. I mean, just look at the difference here. The old way? Weeks of effort, super high costs, and you could only put out so much stuff. The new AI workflow? We're talking hours or even minutes for the cost of a few subscriptions, and it lets you scale up infinitely. And really think about what unlimited scale means. You can test a dozen different ideas at once. You could launch 5 channels in different niches at the same time. The advantage isn't just about being faster. It's about total creative freedom. It's almost unfair, really. And we're not just talking about 1 or 2 obscure tools here. We are seeing an absolute explosion in the space. You've got cinematic powerhouses like Runway, viral video makers like Pika, these incredible new text-to-video models like Kling AI. There's just a massive, growing ecosystem of AI tools that you can start using right now. So what happens when you take that direct, you own it monetization and you combine it with unlimited AI content creation? Well, You get the ultimate expression of this whole new playbook. You get the AI influencer.
So, what exactly is an AI influencer? Well, Creatify has a pretty simple definition. It's a virtual persona. Their appearance, their voice, their content, it's all generated or controlled by AI. They're basically designed to look, speak, and act just like real people, often creating content that's completely indistinguishable from something a human would make.
And if you're thinking, oh, that's just some small, weird trend, check this out. The projected market for these virtual influencers is on track to hit over $111 billion by 2033. This isn't just a fad, it's a massive economic wave that's building.
And from a business standpoint, you can see why. I mean, compared to working with a human influencer, an AI gives you total creative control. The costs are low and predictable. The speed, you're talking hours instead of months. And the scale is, once again, unlimited. For brands and for solo creators, those advantages are an absolute game changer.
And this is where it all gets a little bit mind-bending. The very definition of what a creator is changing right before our eyes. It's not just a person in front of a camera anymore. A single person can now basically become an entire media platform, directing a whole team of AI personalities, each with their own shows and their own communities. You're not just making videos anymore, you're building that media empire from a laptop. So that brings us to the final, and I think the most important question of all. What's your next play? How do you take all these wild ideas and actually put them into action? Really, it all boils down to 3 simple core actions. Number 1, diversify. Build those income streams that you truly own, way beyond just ads. Number 2, automate. Use AI to scale your content creation and finally break free from that endless grind. And number 3, own. Own that relationship with your audience directly. Build a real, monetizable community. So I'm just going to leave you with one last thing to chew on. As all this technology gets faster and better, we really have to ask ourselves, will your next favorite creator be an actual person? Or will it just be a prompt, a simple line of text typed into an AI? The future is definitely getting here faster than we think. Thanks for tuning in.